Dismissive avoidants on the outside can seem like very successful, driven, confident people, but on the inside, it's a much different story. Severe dismissive avoidants have an extremely low self-esteem, and they have a complete lack of self-worth. They create a mask, and the persona that they present to the world is this very confident, stoic person. On the inside is a person that has unhealed attachment wounds and feels that they are unlovable. The core belief of a dismissive avoidant is that they are unlovable and defective. And they keep people at an emotional arm's length to prevent them from finding out and discovering that they are defective and unlovable. This goes back to childhood when the dismissive avoidant was emotionally neglected by their parents or caretakers. They were not given the love and the nurturing that they needed as children, and their feelings were routinely dismissed. They weren't able to express themselves. The message was, your feelings, your emotions aren't welcome here. So they learned to suppress emotions. They learned to run from problems because that's how you deal. You just suck it up. You push your emotions away. You push the problems away. You avoid them. Now, fast forward to them being an adult. This is why they fear emotional intimacy so much. Emotional intimacy paralyzes them with fear. Because if they have a partner that is especially loving, committed, kind, thoughtful, and consistent, this triggers their fears like nothing else. Because the dismissive avoidant has a wall around their heart. And if this partner gets through that wall, they are going to figure out that the avoidant is unlovable and defective, and they're going to reject and abandon the avoidant. So the dismissive avoidant feels it's safer to do the abandoning than to risk being abandoned first themselves. It's a maladaptive defense mechanism because they actually push partners away that are special precisely because they're special, and because they're special, that's why their fears are triggered. Loving partners, healthy partners are precisely what trigger their fears. And it all goes down to a complete lack of self-esteem. The dismissive avoidant will rely on external validation. They don't know how to internally validate themselves. This is, once again, the characteristic of a person with very low self-esteem. They need to feel wanted. They need to get attention. And that's why they can often be addicted to things like social media, dating apps, getting that instant validation, getting the likes, getting the attention, having people comment on how desirable they are. It makes them feel better about themselves in the moment. And this is also why they can do behaviors like cheat, because that validation makes them feel better about themselves. That dopamine temporarily masks the pain that they're trying to avoid. And even though they fear emotional intimacy, they still actually long for love and they long for a connection. So they try to find it, and then when they get it, they're paralyzed with fear due to their low self-esteem, and they push this person away. Dismissive avoidant behaviors are all driven by fear, which is driven from an extremely low self-esteem. This is a person that has no sense of self, that feels that they are just unlovable, and they need to hide that from the world, especially their partner. And that's why they don't want to be vulnerable, because if they're vulnerable, they get hurt. They learned it from childhood. They're not lovable. They were taught that and they believe it.